I am Supreme, and today's Astro Oracle investigation will be on 29-year-old Alexis Ware of Anderson, South Carolina, who was a devoted mother of two who vanished January the 30th, 2022. After spending a weekend with her mother, and when Alexis got home to her home from being with her mother, she FaceTimed her mother. So her mother confirmed that Alexis was at home in the bed. Okay? Now, after that phone call, Alexis's mother is under the impression that Alexis is in the bed sleep because Alexis was telling her mother she was tired. But apparently, upon investigation, once Alexis was reported missing, it was reported by surveillance that Alexis was seen at a gas station 4 hours after she got off the phone with her mother during a time where she was supposed to be asleep. And they saw a man with her. And it was later confirmed that the guy with her was her son's father. So once they found him and questioned him, he stated that Alexis was meeting him at the gas station to he was picking up his son from Alexis, but Alexis did not have enough gas to bring his son all the way to him. So he met her halfway. Good story. And I'm not even saying it's a lie, but I mean, it makes sense. Now, his name is TJ, not the son, the father. And TJ said that at the gas station, he put gas in Alexis's car. Let's talk a little bit about Alexis. Her family describes her as bubbly. She's the life of the party. She's compassionate, ambitious. She's a go-getter. Okay, now she was destined to open up a fashion boutique in Atlanta. Okay, everybody wants to come to Atlanta, which is little Hollywood. Okay, to get their big break, I guess, or to whatever it is, Atlanta must got it. So she was destined to open up her platforms too on social media and open up the fashion boutique in Atlanta. But men began using her social media to solicit sexually explicit messages when she's trying to use her social media for business. So she started talking about being followed and being harassed. Niggas was calling her phone and like her family was even reporting there were times when Alexis's phone was just going off back to back to back to back to back, and her mother was like, "Who is that?" And Alexis would be like, "The devil." Who's this devil that was calling her phone back to back to back to back while she was parlaying with her family? Also, Alexis shared an intense interest in astrology and the zodiac with her family, to where she was doing predictions on what to help the family look out for, including Alexis's own fate, to which she apparently saw in the stars that someone was following her. Okay? Now, let's pause right there. Why? Because I'm an astrologer and I am an oracle and I know tarot. Okay? So I'm all into the spiritual art and craft of tarot cards and zodiac chart readings, energies, frequencies, vibrations, all of that, right? And it's a very real thing. Y'all see how I do my investigations, okay? And that's what I want to talk about. The fact that I use my knowledge, wisdom, and understanding of an ancient science for the greater good. Okay? I don't use my education on this ancient science to go outside, if you know what I mean. And I'm not saying that that's what Alexis did. What I'm saying is there are a lot of murders that take place among people who are heavy into astrology and the tarot, and that's why a lot of people demonize tarot, oracle, and astrology and chart readings and the zodiac. because it has become the common denominator of a lot of psychopaths, just like the Zodiac Killer back in the 80s. We all remember the Zodiac Killer, you know. Not all of us remember this, but I remember the Zodiac Killer growing up in the 80s. Like, the Zodiac has been demonized from the church to them not even teaching it in school, you know, um, to people uh, being into witchcraft. They associate this stuff with bad witchcraft and all of that. And, so I just want to clear that up, that this is a very ancient science that should be used for the greater good. Okay? You cannot play with the universe. You cannot play with energy, frequencies, and vibrations. Okay? Because you're going to fuck around and find out, and you're going to play yourself. You can't play with God, and you can't play with God's work. You can't play with energies, frequencies, and vibrations. All of that is what we call God. The solar system. God's work is the sun and all of the planets that revolve around the sun. All of that is information. That is the Akashic records. Those are the electromagnetic forces that have recorded everything that has ever existed and occurred since the beginning of time, the present time, and then to the end of time. This is not something that you learn so you can go outside and play. This is something that can save your life. It is supposed to shape your life. It is supposed to save your life. It is supposed to help you understand energy by giving energy a language. And when you understand the language, you will hear it. It will talk. And it talks when I do my readings. It talks and it tells the truth. This is not something to play with. And I'm not saying that she was playing with it, but this is not something to play with. You have a lot of people in the 3D realm, the 3D matrix, that's still involved with, trying to get rich, trying to be famous, trying to gather up wealth and stuff. That's not what astrology is about. It's not about getting rich. That's why astrology can never predict the lotto. People always feel like, well, if you're an astrologer, how come you ain't rich? How come you don't know how to hit the numbers? Because astrology is not about money. The science of astrology is not about money. Money was a piece of paper where they turned currency into a piece of paper. Astrology helps you understand the currency you were born into. Your birth chart is your currency. When you understand how all the energies align and what they mean and how they play out in your life, nothing is withheld from you. You don't need to know the lotto, because long as your energy is right, you know how to manifest whatever it is that all this money in the world is supposed to do for you. That a piece of paper can't do shit for you. But your own energy, if you know how to move through your energy, can do everything for you. So I had to clear that up for the people in the back that believe that astrology, tarot, and things of that nature are demonized, because they're not. So after a weekend stay at her mom's house, and like I said, she FaceTimed her mom when she got home, and her mom confirmed that Alexis was in the bed. And of course, it was later confirmed that 4 hours after she FaceTimed her mother, she was seen on surveillance at the gas station handing her son over to his father. Of course, that part, the father, of course, that part, it was said that there was a 18-wheeler truck that was in the way of that particular transaction of her handing the son over to the father. But that was the father's story, and he stuck with it. And it made sense. So, her vehicle was later spotted an hour and a half after the gas station surveillance. Her vehicle was later spotted on another surveillance at an apartment complex 50 miles away from that gas station in McCormick, South Carolina. Her boyfriend's story was that after she handed my son over to me, she told me she was going to her mother's house. But her mother's under the impression that Alexis is home in the bed. So how is she on her way to her mother's house? So, you know they questioned the boyfriend, right? Of course. They found her vehicle abandoned. She wasn't in it, but all of her belongings was. Her cell phone, her purse, her lottery tickets, her bag of clothes were all in the car. There was no foul play and no signs of struggle. There was also word going around that she had won the lotto. Not that she predicted it, but I mean, if she did win the lotto, it's because she was lucky. You know, anytime you are, and I do believe Alexis, she did have a lot of knowledge of energies, frequencies, and vibrations. And the fact that she was aligned with a lot in her life. And when you are aligned, you can hit the numbers. It's not because you predicted it. Hitting the number is the same type of alignment of when you see angel numbers everywhere you go. That's the universe letting you know you hit the number. Everywhere you go, you'll see 222, 333, 444, 555, 1111, 144, 123. You could see the numbers on license plates. I promise you, I have nothing but screenshots in my phone. You can ask my wife, and I show her these pretty much every day. There are screenshots in my phone of when the time is always lined up with my battery energy. All these synchronicities line up. There was a picture that popped up on my phone, and there was a time on the picture that popped up the same time it was on my phone, and the battery energy was the same as the time and the picture, and so was the date. So was the date of that day was lined up with the time and the battery energy. So synchronicities are everywhere. I know about that because I'm aligned. My life is surrounded by synchronicities. So for Alexis to hit the lottery doesn't surprise me. But I tell you one thing, I promise you, it wasn't because she predicted it using astrology. She didn't have to predict it. She was aligned enough to where all she had to do was go and get them lottery tickets and fill it out. Because she was a walking oracle. I am a walking oracle. So let's get to the charts so we can get down to the bottom of what happened to Alexis. So Alexis was born March the 1st, 1979. The sun was in Pisces and the moon was in Aries. And y'all know how I formulate time. Time is the sun divided by moon cycles. So when you put the moon in Aries and Pisces house, which is the 12th house, guess what's rising? Taurus. Money. The second house. Taurus energy. Money. Material. Diamonds. Gold. The lotto. Currency. Cars. Houses. Business. Security. That's what the second house is all about. Okay? That's what the second house is all about. Now, where is Alexis at in her birth chart energy? She's a Pisces. She's right here in the 11th house. 11th house is Aquarius's house. That is the house of groups, gangs, organizations, sororities, fraternities. And when Pisces is there, her energy in the house of groups, Piscean groups are people who are chasing their dreams. Pisces is the dreamer. So Alexis's tribe of people are the tribes who are chasing their dreams. They have a dream. They have a vision. Pisces is the visionary. And sure enough, Alexis was chasing her dreams. She was destined to move to Atlanta to start a new life, open up her fashion boutique. Now her moon was in Aries. And Aries is right there in the 12th house. That's Pisces' house. So she had a very interesting alignment of energy for her moon to be in Aries in Pisces' house. And she was actually a Pisces. So when Aries, though, the energy of self, the energy of self, the energy of independence, the energy of the pioneer. When it's in the 12th house, that means this is something that she battled with. She battled with herself. She battled with her self-image. She battled with that pioneering spirit. There were so many things that Alexis wanted to do head on, but something about that head on nature, Aries rules the head, something about that head on nature that would have made her shoot to the top of all her dreams, something about that nature was watered down because it's in the 12th house. Now let's find out. Let's find out what was rising, what comes first the day Alexis vanished. Because that's going to really connect the dots of what happened. Now, January 30th, 2022 is when Alexis vanished. The sun was in Aquarius and the moon was in Capricorn. So when Capricorn moon is in Aquarius's house, which is the 11th house, and that's something, here go that 11th house again. When Capricorn is there, guess what's coming first? Pisces. Alexis' actual nature comes first. Now we getting somewhere. So now we're focusing on her. Now, when it comes to the Vanish chart, this is a 12th house chart. This is Pisces chart. Everything in the 12th house is not clear. It's watered down. Just like I said in her birth chart. Alexis had a watered down nature. She was full of dreams, goals, and aspirations, but something about this fullness in her was watered down. We're going to find out why. Now, Capricorn is where the moon was the day she vanished. And look where Capricorn is, in the 11th house. So, Alexis was a part of a group. She was a part of some type of organization. 11th house is also the house of friendships. Okay? And the reason why I say that, and also this could be somebody foreign too that was involved with her. Okay? Now, in the house of death, which is where I always look when a person comes up missing and we don't know whether they're dead or not, I always look in the 8th house. That's Scorpio's house. That's the house of death. That's going to let me know how to connect the dots to find out whether she's dead or not. But in the 8th house of death, I see the partner. I see somebody that's with Alexis. Libra represents the significant other. What kind of significant other was in the picture? Well, Let's follow what's in Libra's house. In Libra's house, which is the seventh house, you'll see Virgo, which represents somebody who works. This could be somebody who's trying to help her. Somebody who came across as wanting to help her pursue her career. And this particular career that she was trying to pursue was full of Leo energy. It was full of everything that she loves. Leo energy represents everything that you love. Your gifts, your talents, your abilities. You have fun doing what you do. And her Leo energy on that day was in the sixth house. That's Virgo's house. So this person that she was with, and I do believe that this might have been foul play. She was under the impression that this person was going to help her. Whatever this apartment complex was, because her family was like, they don't know anybody in McCormick, and they don't know why Alexis was there. But I mean, Alexis is her own person. She has a right to know whoever she knows, wherever they live at. Her whole family don't have to know everybody she knows. Like they're not all in her business like that and all up under her titties. So there are some people that Alexis knows that nobody else knows that she knows. And she has a right to know people that nobody else knows that she knows because she's her own person. She ain't got to face nobody. So we all are like that. So let's pull a chart from the ether. Now that we know Alexis wasn't alone, let's find out whether she was dead or not. Now, Venus rules Libra, which is the energy of relationship, which lets us know she wasn't alone. Let's follow Venus. Venus, on the day Alexis was born and the day she vanished, was both in the same energy, Capricorn, which is where the moon was the day she vanished. We're getting somewhere. Capricorn is the authority figure. Capricorn is the boss, the manager, the authority figure. Capricorn is also the father. And it could be Alexis's father, but it could also be her kid's father because Capricorn is the father energy. Excuse me, it is also the law enforcement energy as well. So Capricorn can mean any of those things. Now, where was Capricorn at in her birth chart? It was in the ninth house. Capricorn was in the ninth house. Okay? Now, the ninth house is the house of long distance travel outside of the country. Could Alexis have linked up with somebody who took her out of the country? So, this Capricorn individual, was a friend of Alexis's. Because in Capricorn's house, I see Aquarius, and that's where the sun was the day she vanished. Aquarius is the friend, the individual. That's a part of the group. Now, this card that I'm going to pull is going to open up a chart where not only is the card going to connect a very important dot, but so is whatever sign is going to come first in that chart. Are y'all ready to find out what happened to Alexis Ware? I'm ready. What happened to Alexis Ware? Open up a chart that will take us to what happened to Alexis Ware. Taurus in the sixth house. Taurus is money. In the sixth house is help. This card right here is somebody that's helping her with her money. This is somebody that was helping her with her money. When Taurus is in the sixth house, guess what comes first? Sagittarius, the foreigner. Let's open up this chart. The ninth house. When Taurus is in the sixth house, it opens up a ninth house chart. Remember that Capricorn individual in the ninth house in Alexis's birth chart? This is the ninth house. And look where Capricorn is, in the house of money. This individual was going to help her get money. And this is a foreign individual. Because not only did the ninth house pop up in her birth chart with Capricorn, because that's where Venus was. That is the partner that's helping her. Because look where her Libra is in the sixth house. She met this individual during it's like a business partnership. I feel like there was foul play. Because see, also now, Taurus in the sixth house, along with Libra, Taurus and Libra both rule Venus. And Venus was in Capricorn, both the time Alexis was born and the day she vanished. That's why we have to follow this Capricorn individual. So Capricorn, the day she vanished, was in the 11th house, part of a group. Capricorn, the day she was born, was in the ninth house. Now, the oracle chart that was pulled from the ether, Capricorn is in the house of money. Could this be the ringleader of a possible human trafficking? With Sagittarius coming first, Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Let's follow Jupiter. Jupiter, on that day, was in Pisces. Where's Pisces at? In the fourth house. That's the house of home and family. Was Alexis under foul play with somebody that made her believe they were going to get her home? Did she actually run out of gas? Was she under the impression that this person was going to take her home? Now, Alexis's Jupiter is in Cancer, and this is Cancer's house, but Alexis, the Pisces, is here. Where's Cancer at? In the house of death. I believe that this person was under the impression, they put Alexis under the impression that they was going to get her home. And somewhere along that line, she died. Cancer is also the mother. Cancer is also the mother energy. Why is the mother energy showing up in the house of death? Alexis, I'm going to give you a voice. This is my talk about it deck. I'm giving Alexis a voice because I need her to talk about this. I'm connecting to her soul. Alexis, I need you to talk about this. Talk about it. I have made connection with her soul. And she's about to talk about it. Because she wouldn't abandon both her kids. Alexis had a 9-year-old daughter and a 2-year-old son. She wouldn't have abandoned her kids. She did say somebody was following her. And I also feel like they made her put a tracking device on her car. Somebody she was fucking around with when she wasn't looking. Ooh, my cards. Somebody she was fucking around with when she wasn't looking put a tracking device on her vehicle. Make sure nothing else fell. And that person probably been following her ever since. You know, when people know you going places in life, you can't let everybody in your circle. Clearly, this was somebody that was in her circle. Because 11th house is the house of circles, too. Group, gang circles, friendship circles. Alexis, what's up? Crime and war in the third house. That is the house of travel. The third house is the house of travel. They did find her car. They did find her car abandoned on a road. That's a third house situation. Travel, right? Now, crime and war on the road could mean a car accident or a crime that took place on the road. Okay? So she may have gotten into some type of dispute while traveling. Third house, look, Aquarius. That's where the sun was. This is the chart that was pulled by the cards, not the time she vanished or the time she was born. This chart was pulled by the cards. Crime and war in the third house. And that's exactly where the sun was. And it was more than one individual. But the person that was involved is the person she was in a relationship with, because the 11th house is Aquarius's house and Libra is there, the partner, the person she was in a partnership with, the person who was helping her. Crime and war. They got into some type of war. Let's follow Uranus, because Uranus rules Aquarius, being at this crime. Let's elaborate on this crime right quick. Now, Uranus is the planet that rules Aquarius. Uranus represents rebellion and freedom. Everything that Aquarius represents and Uranus is outside the box. It does not follow rules and regulations. It is unconventional. Now, on the day that Alexis vanished, Uranus was in Taurus. Taurus is right here in the 6th house. And that is the card that came out. Could they have been involved in trying to get money through crime? I just seen 333 across the screen, 3303. Could they been involved? Could Alexis's dreams possess her to the point where she was willing to reach them outside the box, breaking the law? If not, why did that crime and war card come out in the 3rd house? And with Aquarius there, and Uranus was in Taurus that day. Look at this. Both of these cards represent the sun and the moon that day. The sun was right here in Aquarius. January 30th, 2022 was right here in Aquarius in the 3rd house. That's the crime and the war that took place. And the moon, well, look at Taurus right there in the 6th house. The moon was in Capricorn. But look at this card that came out. You can't make this up. Taurus in the 6th house. Money. And the moon was in Capricorn. That's Taurus's house. So what are the odds that Capricorn, which is the authority figure, showed up in Taurus's house, and Taurus came out of the deck, out of the ether in the 6th house? What are the odds that I'm holding a Taurus in the 6th house chart? That says 9th house, which is where Capricorn was in the beginning. Energy does not lie. Energy does not lie. Talk about it, Alexis. I'm going to pull one more card, and then we're going to get to the body. Where are you, dead or alive? Your kids need you. If you are alive and well, we need to know where you are. Look at that. Money and material in the sixth house. That's the same exact card as the Taurus. That's what Taurus is. Money and material in the sixth house. Wow. What's Virgo doing? Because this is Virgo's house. The sixth house is Virgo's house. All this activity revolving around money and material in Virgo's house. Where's Virgo at the day she was born? Virgo was in the fifth house of romantic affairs. Virgo is the helper. That's the worker. Okay? From the sixth house where she met the partner. So where was this partner that was helping her at the day she vanished? In the seventh house. In partnership with her. She was not alone when she vanished. And wherever she's at, she's still not alone. The card that was pulled by the ether, where is Virgo? Right there in the 10th house. In the public. The ninth house is the house of long distance travel. Leo is there. This could be sex trafficking for money. Human trafficking. That's what I see. That is what I see. And the fact that she was in that energy of sex trafficking, human trafficking, with all of that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that she had of astrology, of course you will attract the people that will take you out because you know too much. You know too much to be involved in an energy that only people who are lost are in that energy. For you to know the things that you knew about astrology and energy, and you doing predictions for your family and yourself, you know the way to your dreams without having to resort to sex trafficking. That is exactly what I see. Now, where is Alexis's body? Dead or alive? Where is Alexis's body? Dead or alive? Where is Alexis's body? I'm talking to the universe, the solar system, because I don't know if she's alive or dead. So I'm reaching out to the ancestors. Where is Alexis's body? Her body's right here. Location, fifth house. Location. Location. All right, let's look in the fifth house of the oracle. What's in the fifth house of the oracle? Aries, the self. That's her moon. That is her moon. Now, the fifth house is the house of children. The fifth house is the house of children. That is the house of romance. So if she's located in the fifth house, what's going on in the fifth house the day she vanished? Cancer. Cancer. That is the home and family. And what's going on in the fifth house the day she was born? Virgo. That's the helper. Elaborate on this location, Alexis. We'll let her talk about it. Elaborate on that fifth house location. Because it's saying that she's with her kids. Let me see. Cancer is there, Virgo is there, and Aries is there. Elaborate on this fifth house location. Money and material again in the 12th house. That's Pisces house. That is a lot of money and material going on. There's a lot of money and material. There's a lot of hidden money and material. Now, in the 12th house of her birth chart, that's where Aries is. Her moon is in the 12th house. And she's located in the 5th house, which is also where Aries is in the chart that was pulled by the cards. Let's follow this Aries right quick. Where's Mars? Mars, the day she was born, is in Pisces. And Mars, the day she vanished, was in Sagittarius. That means Sagittarius is rising. In the oracle chart, Mars was right here the day she vanished, since all this Aries energy is being pulled. Where's Aries? Right there in the 5th. So, yeah. Sex trafficking children, because the 5th house is Leo's house. And Leo is in the 9th house of foreign affairs. And Mars is right here in Sagittarius. And Jupiter is in Cancer. I believe that Alexis is out of the country because the 8th house is the house of change and transformation. And when Cancer is there, it represents the home, the family, and the mother. Could she have changed homes? Like literally homelands. Could she have changed homelands and live in a whole new life? Or was she taken against her will and shipped over to another country? Who? Who can we turn to right now that is alive and who we can reach in arm length that knows what happened to Alexis Ware? Who can we reach out to within arm length? Who? An accomplice in the 3rd house. The person that she drove off with when she got out of her own vehicle. Okay? They got into a crime. Yeah, this person that she drove off with is when this crime started. I think she was abducted. Alexis was abducted. She was abducted. Alexis was abducted. An accomplice. Alexis was abducted. She was abducted. She was abducted. 4444 across the screen. Talk to us, Alexis. Was you abducted? Lies. She wasn't abducted. And if she was abducted, then they were telling her lies. Foul play. Talk to us, Alexis. Were those lies? Are you abducted? Was this foul play? Are you alive or are you dead? Talk to us, Alexis. Secrets. I'm starting to see heavy sex trafficking, children. I really am starting to see. Talk to me, Alexis. Look at that money and material again in the fourth house. Money and material again in the fourth house. This, out of all them cards, and I done shuffled the hell out of all of that. All this is about money and material. That is her birth chart. Money and material. Money and material. What is this? Why is all these money and material cards coming out? Now this one is in the fourth house. Now in the oracle chart, this is where Alexis is. They're hiding. I don't think Alexis is dead. I think she's being held against her will. Alexis is being held against her will. I really believe she's being held against her will. Alexis, I'm going to pull one more lost and found. Help us elaborate on this fifth house location. She's being held against her will. And this is about money. Fire and destruction in the seventh house. She may be gone. She may be gone. Fire and destruction and the war. The war and crime. This is one of the longest readings that I've done in a while. I got to get down to the bottom of this. Talk to us, Alexis. Fire and destruction in the 11th house. Let me pause this right quick. I'm going to meditate on this. So stay tuned for a part 2. I'm going to put this together. I need some time. Because there's a lot coming out, but there's a lot of the same thing coming out. So it's speaking volumes. I just want to connect the dots with these volumes without this video being 2 hours long. So let me connect the dots with all of this, and I will return for a part 2. Stay tuned.